Tell us briefly about the CSI Market, its objectives and social benefits.
CSI Market was an establishment under the CSI flagship program under the Ministry of Economic Affairs. It's been initiated by the Department of Cottage and Small Sector Industry, and it has been operating since the year 2020. But the establishment of the market was already a priority under the flagship program, and I took up this opportunity, and since I have been in this sector for a while, I'm the founder of Druxel. It's an e-marketplace for products made and grown in Bhutan. So therefore we came together, and now we operate and manage the CSI Marketplace. And the CSI Marketplace has now become the largest market for products made and grown in Bhutan under one roof. We will have a network of around 500 plus suppliers across 20 dzongkhags, and we have a variety of supply network systems. It includes entrepreneurs, it includes families, home-based workers, farmers, cooperatives from across the entire country.
And how does the CSI market help or benefit the society?
In terms of the CSI market, like I said, if you go by the numbers, cottage and small sector industry represents around 95% of all businesses in Bhutan, under which around 40% are all owned by women and home-based workers. Therefore, this is a sector that has a lot of social inclusivity, and I think this is key for economic development for any country per se. And what is the benefit of this market is that Bhutan being a very small country, even though things are at our reach, sometimes it's very difficult to put it under a single platform. Therefore, CSI Market has now created that access and a marketplace, and we being active on e-marketplace as well, we are now able to push our products in the international markets as well. So these are some of the benefits that our small and cottage industry enterprises can benefit.
Lastly, so it seems like if we buy certain products from here, from CSI Market, we are contributing to the society also in Bemola.
Yes, I absolutely agree on that, because if you look at the products that arrive, a fully furnished product that arrives into the CSI Market, it comes through a chain of events. It starts from the farming, it starts from, if it's a craft product, from the rural artisans. It starts all the way from there. The roots are quite deeply integrated into rural areas of the country. And then we have a lot of entrepreneurs who do the job of assimilating, finding solutions to solve this problem of supply chain. That can be in terms of a physical good, a product, or even a service. Therefore, this creates a lot of events along the entire journey, and then which translates and manifests into creation of jobs, creation of a more vibrant economy, and there's more economic activities happening across the entire chain.
So how many variety of products do you have on display in this market?
Currently on a platform here, we have around 1,000 plus products from across the entire country. And out of which, like I said, the products that are displayed in our store, almost 51% of the products are all owned and operated by women. Women enterprises. So we're very proud of that. 5% of them are supplies from the non-governmental organizations. Around 10% of them are also from excluded portions of society. So we feel very engaged, and we feel inclusivity is key for the success of the cottage and small sector industries.
Yes, and can you show us or maybe talk about one of the products that come from women's group?
Yes, so I'll take an example of this product. It's called Say Organics. It was recently launched, and as you see, this is a cooperative of around a couple of 2-3 women who come together and they extract natural herbs, essential oils are extracted, and then they bring it together. And they are then initiated by this founder, who is a lady, and she creates beautiful products out of this essential oils and blended oils. She's making some scrubs, and this is some of the initiatives. And I believe if you empower women, it creates a lot of empowerment to the society and in general the entire country. We're also proud to inform our viewers that at our cafe we are exclusively providing Bhutan-grown coffee beans. This is a growing agricultural product in the southern foothills of our country. And me being a coffee drinker myself, I'm very proud that even in Bhutan, we have this beautiful aromatic coffee grown, and as Bhutanese, we should be promoting our own coffee beans. And in the farms, it employs a lot of people. The farmers are engaged. Although it's a new culture, it's a foreign culture in Bhutan. It's not really part of our custom to drink coffee, but it is catching up. And a lot of young people are interested into the whole idea of coffee. It has a bit of a trend to it, so we're very excited to present that coffee here.
And it seems like it has just been a few months since we opened this CSI market. So how has the response been so far from the people?
Initially, when we had planned, one of our key target market was the tourism sector. Unfortunately, COVID came in and then we were not able to target our tourism sector. But surprisingly, the overturn of our local customers has really surprised me because we always have the assumption that Buddhist customers do support, but we don't really know how. So we always have this very uneasy perception towards Buddhist customers. But since the launch, initially it was a little slow, but now we are getting traction and more customers are coming out to support our CSI products.
Since you have worked with local entrepreneurs for so long, what are the main challenges faced by them?
If I may answer this, I'll probably break it down to three groups. One is the entrepreneur themselves, second would be at the policy level, maybe third could be at the promotion and exports of products. Entrepreneurial culture is picking up in the country. There's been numerous training activities and a lot of government agencies are engaged in it. I think it's good, but in general, I think we as entrepreneurs still need more exposure. Their frame of reference has to expand, and also entrepreneurs need to take professional expertise engagement as well. According to research has revealed that almost 50% of new businesses fail in the first 1 to 5 years, and one of the leading reasons is because of poor financial management, and I can see that happening in Bhutan as well, and therefore I would urge our entrepreneurs to look into this, because better business performance has been associated with better like consulting with the business accountant. So just the simple things makes a big difference, and here what we are targeting is that the challenge of sustainability for entrepreneurs to keep their activity engaged is very important. The other thing is, as you understand, the small and medium businesses globally, the nature of it is very heterogeneous nature. The size, the gender, the age. So it's very, you can't really put them in a single basket and say, this is what you do. So therefore, we'll have to have different segmented support systems for the heterogeneous nature of entrepreneurial culture. In terms of the policy formulation, I think our policy makers has to take into account the needs of the small and medium businesses. The small first approach would rather be better than just having a top-down approach. Like recently we have this policy intervention of reducing customs duties from third world countries from 30% 10%, and I would still consult our SMEs to really understand whether this is really going to benefit, because I really doubt that, because our SME industry is very small right now. It's an infant industry. We really need to support at this juncture, because we are a highly import dependent country, so therefore a lot of support needs to be going into this small and medium businesses. The third element was the export finance. Over there, our products still, we struggle with fulfilling the requirements of certifications. Testing facilities in the country is very limited, and these are something those are beyond an entrepreneur's scope of activities. And over there, I think government could facilitate, and also the access to finance should be broadened. It should be more comprehensive, because if you go by numbers, only around 25% of CSI businesses have been able to take advantage of the financial accessibilities that are provided by the government. Therefore, and for any business to expand and grow, you need financial support. And I can also see some activities such as the Royal Monetary Authority has initiated alternative mechanisms of funding. Those has to be reinforced. I think we should continue. That's a very good advantage for the entrepreneurs. So similar activities has to be reinforced. We must understand that CSI business in the country is still at a very difficult stage, and we still need to work towards developing it further. I think we have not reached a state where we are able to fully depend on ourselves. We still need a bit of hand-holding.
Since you have been in this field for quite some time now, in general, how would you describe the mindset of our young entrepreneurs? Are they far-sighted, or are they just looking for instant profit?
In general, our Bhutanese entrepreneurs, and like I said earlier, entrepreneurs is a heterogeneous group of people. You can't really, a high school student will aspire to be an entrepreneur, or somebody 50 years or 60 years, he can be an entrepreneur. I think what I like about Bhutan is we have this aspirational entrepreneurial aspiration. But what we lack is we still need to understand that it needs a lot of grit. You need to learn from a lot of failures. You will fail. I think most entrepreneurs globally, it's not just in Bhutan, although in Bhutan we don't really have a clear statistics around that. Globally the failure rates are very high, but it's not about failing, it's about how you tackle that failure and how you rise up again. I think that has to be entrenched deep into our entrepreneurs. Second thing is, I think the skill set has to be also enhanced. We can't just rely on having a business idea. Good ideas are, for me, I don't believe in good ideas. What matters is execution. So that when it comes to execution, you need to have some skill set. And for that skill set, like I mentioned earlier, consulting a business accountant, if you want to expand your business, understanding the regulatory framework, these are very important. I see a bit of gap over there for entrepreneurs. And also, when the business grows, there has to be more of collaboration. Large corporations and companies should come forward. We need more of small and medium business practitioners to help each other. We need more of mentorship, guidance, and we're still at that phase. Therefore, our entrepreneurs are very passionate, purposeful, and at the same time very resourceful as well. But we need to understand that to get things done, it takes time, persistence, determination, and a lot of grit.
Yes. Since you have spoken about the challenges, what would be the solutions?
In terms of the solution, there's a myriad of factors that affect the success of an entrepreneur. There's no one-way cookie-cutter solution for any entrepreneurial venture or any business per se. What matters is there has to be support in terms of the general mindset of the population. As a small country, we must come forward and support our own entrepreneurs. Second thing is we need to enhance and augment our entrepreneurial culture in such a way that it is not taken up as a career or the last option. It should be a privileged opportunity. From the government aspect, I think there has to be support in terms of, because I'm looking at taking Bhutan's identity to the next stage, that's global markets. If you want to get there, the government has to probably set up the infrastructure for testing facilities, access to finance, even though there's a lot of credit facilities being extended, but still only around 5% of them are able to avail it, and it's very focused on agro products at this point, agro-centric. But you see, the small and the cottage business, it's a blend of different varieties. Men will come in, women will come in, farmers will come in, and we never know how they expect the final product to be. It may not necessarily be agro product, it can be anything. So I think financial institutions have an open mind to accept it, and also the regulatory frameworks and policy formulations needs to be a little more comprehensive and try to listen to the needs of the small and cottage businesses.
And talking about global market, a few years back I was in Delhi, and we were having breakfast, and one of it was in a guest house. So they were telling us this is a special product, and then it was a juice and pickle from Bhutan. So it seems like there's so much appreciation for Bhutanese product. So, but why My question is, why are domestic products failing to capture the local market?
Pre-pandemic, it was very difficult for us to segregate what was a domestic product. Most of the product I see was a lot of novelty products, craft products, and it was mostly absorbed by the tourism market. We didn't really have a clear picture of what our own product was meant to be. I could see a lot of tea products during the tea, and a lot of tourists used to buy it. But then we don't really have a clear picture of what our own products are. But post-pandemic, we really got a sense of what our own products are. Our own products are products that has a lot of effort. It has a lot of personality. Someone is engaged in it. It has created jobs, and it is something that it shows a lot of a good outcome of entrepreneurial venture. And but when it comes to the markets, we can't really demand a market to buy our own product. What we have experienced is in Bhutan, we have excessive imports. I don't mean to say that we cannot import anything. We must import because that's how we have developed to this point of day. But what we should not be doing is we should not be excessively importing goods. What happens is it creates a shift in market. The supply potential of our small and medium businesses in the country cannot compare up to our neighboring regions. It's just not. The economies of scales are completely different over there. Therefore, it has not really captured in that sense, and also the perception of the pricing. And for me, pricing is a little illusional. It really depends on how you market the product. And the pricing we have that perception that Bhutanese products are just expensive. And in general, we also have the idea that quality-wise, it's a little inferior compared to imported goods. So these are things that has shifted the behavioral mindsets of the consumer in Bhutan, and also I can understand in terms of human behavior, we always want something that you don't see every day. It's beyond your reach. You want to buy that novel. It's a desire thing, but we have to sort of shift our mindset to think about how can we support our own enterprise, because at the end of the day, it's all about sustaining ourselves, having a stronger identity of being a Bhutanese.
So. For example, me as a buyer, if I go to a shop and look at the local products, for example, when I look at the products here, I find that, correct me if I'm wrong, I find that most products are little high-end, it's not very basic actually. So are there plans to have more basic products also in CSI market in the long run?
Our goal for our CSI market is, as long as you have a product and it should be generally made by a Bhutanese, the raw material should be Bhutanese, we're willing to give an opportunity for every CSI. And not just that, even on our online marketplace, it's called druxel.com, we would want to extend our product line over there as well. And we have some establishment beyond Bhutan as well. What I see is the perception of our products are such that, like I mentioned earlier, it has been more of a souvenir, kind of a novelty product. We have to diversify. We need to open up our product line into products that are more essential. Product to market fit has to be done properly. Then there's a potential. But it's not even a plan, it's an ongoing activity. We're working with all our suppliers, trying to understand. And what is very important for me is data. We need data, because we can't just decide based on what one or two person tells us. It has to be a data-centric, data-driven decision-making process. And we're collecting a lot of data right now. We are consulting with a lot of agencies. And putting all that together, we hope that we will be able to influence our suppliers to broaden up and diversify the product delivery line.
As an expert, what would be your advice? Why is packaging, for example, this is nicely packaged, it's really beautiful. So why is presentation and packaging important?
Packaging is a science in itself. Packaging has a lot of purpose. One is it provides protection of the goods inside. It is a way to ensure safety, protect your own health. If it's a food-based product, it is also a way to present your product and make it very attractive for the consumer. And these days, the conversations around being more sustainable. what sort of materials do you use for packaging. All of this matters, and you can't just make your product just attractive. It has to be fitting, touching upon all the factors that I just mentioned. In Bhutan, packaging is a major challenge. There's a lot of entrepreneurs making products, but a lot of people fail or either don't really know how to go about with their packaging. But I always advise that packaging itself is an art and a science in itself. Therefore, you really have to invest your time. You should be able to identify your product on the shelves and really get the message across. If you're a brand, you should be able to get your brand message across the product line, and that is presented through a packaging platform. And if you're going to look into the international markets, packaging matters a lot. Like I said, there's standards, safety. People need to know what is inside a specific package, and that means you need to know how to do proper labeling. So what we're advising at this point, given the fact that most of our entrepreneurs in business don't really have the capacity to really go beyond what they can and make a proper packaging, is that we advise, why don't you do a proper labeling? And this labeling, there's some requirements according to our regulatory authorities here. So the minimum requirements, if you can fulfill at this point, and the Department of Cottage and Small Industries is looking into a common packaging facility systems, and also other international agents are very interested to support this setup. And this goes hand in hand. And then the other element that is very important is packaging needs to reflect your brand, and your brand needs to reflect your packaging. And the packaging has to be, and the one thing that I also mentioned is, don't make a package just because you want to wrap up your product. It needs to be sustainable. Make sure that your footprint, what I mentioned here is the carbon footprint of your package, is sustainable. Try to source it as much as possible locally, which means you might have to be a little innovative over there, and it is possible. And these things matter a lot. And can you reuse your package? Is it upcyclable, recyclable? Can you use it for a utilitarian purpose? For example, some of the packages you can save it, and some of them even collect their own.
Yes, I think there is this misconception also that packaging has to be expensive. So I personally feel that packaging can be done with simple things, more basic things and all. So do we have initiative like that also?
I think in general, we also do a bit of coaching and guidance on packaging. And like I said, in general, packaging, we don't really have a so-called expert in Bhutan in terms of packaging. But the minimum that we can do is, like you mentioned, start small, think about what you can do. And sometimes, like I said, the story matters a lot of how you build up a product. Try to use local resources as much as possible. Probably the answer is there. Probably that's where we can differentiate ourselves from the rest of the world. The current practice is most of the entrepreneurs, they use the same packages, maybe one or two suppliers are selling the thing. Only the label is different. But like I always try to look into the amount of carbon footprint, because these products, the packages come from other countries. It has to be loaded on a truck, it comes by air and all that, and there's an expense incurred, and then it creates a lot of carbon footprint. So I'm saying, why don't we create it as local as possible so that we can tell the story that we are carbon negative, our carbon footprint is low for every packages.
Because of the pandemic, it seems like there is a delay or shortage of supplies, essential supplies. So isn't it high time for our entrepreneurs to take advantage of this gap?
The pandemic has disrupted the global supply chain industry, and even it has not even spared even Bhutan. What it has taught us is that we need to be more resilient, learn to sustain, source materials locally as much as we can, so that we are not affected by this global disruption. Because I don't think COVID will go away anytime soon. It's going to be entrenched in our lifetime. But it's now about innovating around that. How can we innovate our own resources, and how can we utilize our resources in the best possible way? Therefore, entrepreneurs have taken some advantage of this period, but we need to have some concerted effort over there.
And I think as a buyer, I have mindset, most of us I think we have mindset like, should I buy this product? We always land up comparing the price and of course packaging, and then even the quantity we as a buyer. So I think that's not very good mindset. So what would be your advice for the buyers?
For the buyers, as such, we can't really demand a buyer to buy, force someone to buy your own products, but you must remember that your support, just the conviction that I want to change that specific product in my shopping cart to a Buddhist product, helps our entrepreneurs. Helping an entrepreneur means it goes a long way, like I mentioned earlier, creating jobs, they employ a lot of people, our local economy becomes more stronger. For the local buyers, I think it's high time we come forward, and like I said, the price is a very illusionary thing, because for example, noodles in Bhutan used to be Miltram 10 earlier. Now we see noodles imported from Korean countries, which are costing above $100, 100 Miltram, and people still buy, and there's also a lot of challenges on social media. It's not really a dearth of the pricing, because pricing is really illusionary. I see there's a gap between marketing our own goods, Buddhist products, making it a product to market fit, understanding the taste, the personality, the consumer behavior. Understanding the consumer behavior is very important. So for the entrepreneur also, we need to understand the market, get the right market information, do proper research, understand the behavior, consumer behavior, and then if we cannot compete with the imported good, it's just not possible. The economies of scale just don't work. But what we can do is, maybe we can do things better.
Right, and your words for our viewers, what makes the Made in Bhutan products special and unique, and why should we buy?
In terms of our products made in Bhutan, you must remember that we must do our part to support our own enterprises. It goes a long way. It promotes social inclusivity. A lot of women are involved in this cottage and small sector industry. Therefore, I think showing support to our women sector is very important. And also the populations that are excluded in our societies, they are also engaged. People who are physically challenged are also involved with us. Our non-governmental organizations are involved with our product line. And therefore, buying a product made in Bhutan is not just a brand. It's creating jobs. It's creating a stronger economy. Even the products, we are protecting our own human rights, because any product that comes into Bhutan, we don't know how they're treated at the factories over there, the labor treatments over there. But in Bhutan, at least we know where the products are coming from, and we know how people are treated. Animal protection, animal cruelty. We don't commit to all these practices. And then sustainability. It's very sustainable, sourcing our products locally. We have very low carbon footprints. For any of our product, we know we can trace at least 2-3 layers, and we know exactly where the product is coming from, how many resources are being involved to get the product across the CSI markets. So therefore, we need to put in this and a concerted effort to support our own product, and internationally to protecting our own identity, the brand Bhutan. We cannot afford to lose our brand, and this is something that will safeguard our future sustainability of our own societies, and with His Majesty's vision of making Bhutan a dynamic economy, it is possible, but we must do our part. And I urge everyone to come forward. You can explore our products at CSI Market, and if you have any interest or you want to also be engaged in this thing, we are most happy to help you out. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your time and sharing your insight with us.